Hi, and welcome to the Emprog ThunderBench quick tutorial series. In this video, we will talk about simple and complex debugger breakpoints. I am now in a live debugging session connected to an ARM Cortex-M. The local variable we will use to demonstrate the breakpoint is called counter. First, let me show you how to set a simple breakpoint. I go to, say, line 46. I double-click on the blue margin next to the line number, or right-click and select Toggle Breakpoint. I click Run, and the code breaks as expected. Simple. Now let me show you how to set up a more complex breakpoint. I will go to line 55 where the variable counter is being incremented. Right-click on the blue margin next to the line. I select Add Breakpoint. In the condition field, I put the expression counter modulo 5 equals 0 and counter is not equal to 0. This means that with every pass, the application will check the breakpoint and will evaluate the expression. If the expression is true, the breakpoint is executed. I will leave the ignore count field as 0 for now. This means do not ignore the breakpoint. In other words, break every time when the condition is true. Let's test this breakpoint. Hit Run. We notice that the ThunderBench debugger breaks at line 55 when the variable counter reaches 5, which satisfies our conditional expression. Click Run again and we notice that counter reaches 10, which also satisfies our conditional expression. To change the breakpoint properties, we can edit the breakpoint by right-clicking on the line itself and selecting Breakpoint Properties. I get back to the same screen as before. Now let's set the ignore count to 2. This scenario means ignore the first and second time when our conditional expression is true. Break at the third time, the expression is true. To be able to demonstrate that, we need to reset our system by clicking the soft terminate and relaunch. This will reload the code into the target as a soft reset. After hitting Run, we break at the first breakpoint which was set before. Now we can test our new breakpoint setup. I click Run. The debugger breaks as instructed. Let's examine the value of counter in the watch window. We notice counter equals 15, which means the debugger executed the breakpoint at the third pass. We have the variable igon_counter to help us visualize the number of occurrences. It shows 3, which means that 2 were ignored. For more on setting up complex breakpoints, I go back to the breakpoint property. In the condition field, I can enter any valid C expressions such as logical operators, bitwise and arithmetic operands, library functions, string statements, and many others. One feature worth noting is the $sign can be used with a CPU register such as $SP for stack pointer. As you see, the ThunderBench debugger offers lots of flexibility in setting any kind of breakpoints that fit your needs. One other useful breakpoint feature is action. I go to the breakpoint properties again, select action, then click on new. I can specify the action I want, such as sound action or log action or even invoke external tools. As a quick demo, let me show you the log action feature. I type in a name, let's call it Eureka. Then I type a message, for example, Eureka, it works. Value of counter is. This message will be displayed in the console view when the code breaks. Once created, I click on Attach to my breakpoint. I create another new action to display the value of the counter variable. I do the same thing as before. Set action type to log action. Then give it a name, value of counter. Type counter in the message body. But this time, I check the Evaluate as Expression box. I highlight the second action and also attach it to my breakpoint. The sequence of actions will be executed from top to bottom. I click OK. Let's test these actions. Let me reset the system. Then I hit Run a couple of times until my breakpoint. In the console view, you can see the log action message that was attached to the breakpoint and also the value of counter. With that, you should be able to comfortably set and use any breakpoint for most of your debugging needs. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.